I decided that I want to organize some film photos that I had developed probably a month ago at this point. I have this stack of photos sitting here, and I thought, in the spirit of documenting and finding these smaller creative practices, today it would be really fun to go through some of these photos. I also got this photo book on Etsy a couple of months ago, and it's just been sitting on the shelf, so I think it'd be nice to fill this with some recent photos. Both of these rolls of film are Fujifilm 400. A number of these photos were taken at the public market in the city that I live in, so there's some restaurants and just some cool art and people. And at the time that I was shooting down there, this restaurant was closed, but I managed to get this photo through the window, and I think it came out pretty cool. I quite like this picture, and I wish there was some more variety in color just because everything is so cool toned. But I really love that I managed to capture this woman having a cup of coffee through the window here. This photo was taken at a cafe that I really like, and they had these cool art books on the table, and I just kind of liked the idea of this colorful, vibrant page against the marble tabletop. I got the perfect strawberry matcha, so I needed to document that. Here is the Strong Museum of Play. The architecture of this building is really fascinating, so I took a lot of photos of this building. The entryway looks kind of liminal and creepy. I have a series now of photos of Derek in grocery stores, so this just felt appropriate. This is at a place called Joy Mart. I think what I want to do next is pick my favorite photos so I can put them in this book so that I have something to look back on to kind of remember this past winter. I'm going to do that really quick and then show you what I land on. One of my favorite parts of shooting film and getting my photos back is being able to curate them. So flipping through all the photos, deciding what I want to live together on the same page in my photo collections and albums. This part's really fun for me because it's kind of a way to spark my memories, have that piece of nostalgia when I move through life and I flip open this book. And I wanted to kind of emulate what I did last year, which was, I filled a different book, but it wasn't specifically like a photo album. It was actually just a really big sketchbook. And I wanted to document just my improvements over time, or the different compositions I was kind of compelled to, or like the subject matter that I found interesting at the time. I did narrow down the collection of photos that I got back by about a third or so and just collected the ones I liked the most here. When I look at these photos, they tell a story. They remind me of specific times in my city doing very specific activities. You can see snow in some of these images, and I think it'll be cool to fill this book more throughout the spring and summer months and just kind of see the year, right? Like see the transition of the same environment through a different seasonal lens. So like I said, last year I documented my film photography in a sketchbook. And as you can see, it got really thick really fast. So I had to kind of give up on the vision here. And I should have known better, but I was being ambitious. What I did was I put all these like proof sheets. I don't really know if there's a formal name for these, but I put these in the back and included the location that I shot and the type of film stock that I was using. A lot of the photos in this photo book from 2025 were taken in the summertime, and some of them were taken outside of Rochester and other locations. And so it's just kind of cool to see what was catching my eye at that time. This also includes my first roll of film, so it feels especially nostalgic. Last year we were out and about a lot, so there's some photos from Philly, there's some photos from Boston. We were doing a lot of traveling, and I was more interested in capturing structures, buildings. You can see a lot of that here when I was shooting at the Science Museum and the George Eastman House. Now, this year, a lot of the photos are more people-centered, and I've been getting a little more comfortable, a little more confident, bringing the camera out around crowds and snapping pictures of people. And I've really enjoyed using film photography as a way to get out of my house, go document my life. And I see and hear a lot of people talk about why you should romanticize your life. And I think film photography is such a beautiful way to access that kind of romanticization of your existence, of your city, of the places you go to all the time that maybe you feel like are mundane, but are truly special in their own ways. I wanna go back to Boston and eat more donuts. Looking back through these photos from last year is also awesome because I flipped to this page and it reminded me of eating vegan donuts from the Boston market. Another reason that I did initially put these photos in a sketchbook was because I wanted space to write as well and like scrapbook sort of, document my progress, document my thoughts and feelings about film. And I did do that a couple of times, but inevitably, like I said, this book got way too thick, and so we had to change course. Compiling memories, documenting your life, and being able to share them with your friends and family, like put it out on your coffee table and let people explore and rummage through your memories and your nostalgia. I think it's such a special way to kind of communicate the things that we care about and to communicate who we are as creative people through documentation, through memories. I did want to end this video with a March recap. If you've been following the channel, I've been doing monthly recaps to touch base about some of my goals. We are well into April and I never did a follow-up on my March. So for those of you who are new to the channel, I have been committed to doing a year-long no spend, and I also made a poster with like a ton of different goals, creatively and otherwise, for this year. And at the end of each month, I've been trying to keep up with just doing a little check-in, a little debrief to let you know how it's going. March was interesting. I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD, and in true neurodivergent fashion, that means I purchased a lot of books. I specifically set a rule that I was not going to purchase any new books this year, but given these new diagnoses, I felt it important to really start to learn and understand how to better accommodate myself and just like feel less like an alien everywhere I go. So far, I have read Obsessive Intrusive Magical Thinking, A Little Less Broken, Divergent Mind, Wired to Feel. As for books that are next up in line, I have Unmasking Autism, which was recommended to me by my psychiatrist. We've got The Tip of the ADHD Iceberg. And the book that I'm currently reading is called Against Techno-Ableism. It's written by a bioethicist, so I had to pick it up because if you know me, I'm kind of obsessed with bioethics. Broke the no spend, bought a lot of books. And I have another confession that I need to make that I'm a little bit embarrassed about. So when I was buying all these books, I saw that there was like some Lego sets at Barnes & Noble, and I bought one. It was a Lucky Cat, and I thought, what's the harm in one little Lego set? I was going through a hard time. I was processing new information and just trying to like do passive activities that felt fun. So I got a little Lego set and it quickly turned into like 10 Lego sets. So I like Legos now. I don't know how long this will last because this happens sometimes. You know, I get really excited and really into something and I love it and I'm obsessed with it for like 4 months, and then all of a sudden I don't care about it at all ever again. I was like, why can't I just follow through? You know, I set this ambition for myself. I can't follow through on it. I was doing so well. January, February, I didn't spend anything. I bought like a couple stickers, like it's not a big deal. You know, I didn't buy any clothes, I didn't buy any books, I was doing good. There was a lot shaken up when I got my diagnosis, and I truthfully just wanted some outlets that were simple, that were pleasurable, that for me came in the form of Legos and lots of reading. It's also important to just check in from time to time when we're doing these long-term goals, like a no spend, because it is hard. I do intend to get back to my no spending ways, although now things are further complicated because I'm moving next month, which means I'm gonna wanna bring some new things into my new apartment. So we'll see how that goes. Moving on to what I have accomplished. My goal for this year was to read 12 books, and I've officially finished 7 of them already, which is great, I think. In addition to that, I of course also shot an entire roll of film, and otherwise I've been sticking to my journaling routine and practice very regularly. Again, another beautiful way to document and kind of romanticize my life. If I pick up this journal every time I'm anxious and just direct my attention to writing a list, maybe it's a gratitude list. Recently, what I've been doing is writing lists of evidence as to why I can trust myself. And I know it might sound kind of silly, but it works really well for me to kind of reframe and remind myself that even if I feel anxious, like I am still in control. Otherwise, I am working on a couple of big projects that I can't really talk about publicly yet, but stay tuned for a big art project that I'm very excited to share some more about in the coming months. That kind of sums up what's been going on throughout March and the first couple weeks of April. Go romanticize your life. Take photos, document your adventures, document your memories. journal. Find analog activities that bring you a sense of joy and a sense of fulfillment. If you've made it this far, please consider subscribing to the channel or leaving a comment down below. If you want to support my work, I also have a bunch of prints, zines, and stickers available on my website, which is also listed in the description below. Got some new stuff coming as well, so look out for that. And as always, have a great day, create more than you consume, and I will catch you next time. Bye. 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 Bye.